Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same place, repeating the same routines, with no way out? Do you feel like the weight of the past is holding you back from stepping into the future? This new year, what if you could renew yourself completely? What if the opportunity to change, to grow, and to transform is right in front of you, waiting for you to embrace it? Imagine you've been carrying a heavy bag for years, full of old thoughts, mistakes, regrets, and fears. Now, picture setting that bag down and walking forward light, free, and open to new possibilities. This is what renewal can feel like. It's not about changing everything at once, but about making the decision to start fresh, right here, right now. At Wisdom Woven, we believe in the power of new beginnings, and with insights from Buddhism, we'll show you how to tap into that power this new year. This journey isn't just about resolutions. It's about a deep, lasting transformation that will help you find peace, clarity, and purpose. Before we dive in, remember, there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. So, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more life-changing wisdom to you and others. Renewal isn't just a word, it's a way of life. Through the teachings of Buddhism, you'll learn how to clear your mind, forgive yourself, and step into the future with open arms. So, stay with us, and let's make this year your best one yet. Letting go. Releasing what no longer serves you. When we hold on to things from the past, thoughts, feelings, habits, memories, it can feel like carrying a heavy weight with us everywhere we go. This weight may not be visible to others, but it can make our hearts heavy and our minds restless. Letting go of what no longer serves us is one of the most powerful steps we can take toward renewal. You may have heard the phrase, let it go, but what does it really mean? In our daily lives, we often hold on to things that weigh us down. These things can be feelings of anger, guilt, shame, or even old habits that no longer help us grow. We hold on to these because we think they define us, or because they have become part of who we are. But, in reality, they don't serve us. They only limit our growth. In Buddhism, the concept of attachment is key. Attachment is what ties us to the past, to people, and to things. We become attached to our ideas, our desires, and even to our pain. This attachment makes us believe that we need something outside of ourselves to be happy or complete. But true freedom comes when we learn to let go of these attachments. Imagine you are walking down a path, and you are carrying a large sack. Inside the sack is everything you have ever held on to, every grudge, every mistake, every unkind word, and every regret. You carry it with you, step by step. At first, it feels manageable, but as you walk longer, the sack becomes heavier, harder to carry. It starts to slow you down. Eventually, it's so heavy that you can barely take another step. Now imagine that you have the choice to set down that sack. You don't have to carry it anymore. The moment you let go, you feel lighter. Your step becomes easier, and your path ahead becomes clearer. This is what letting go feels like. It's not about forgetting the past or ignoring it. It's about releasing its hold over you, so you can move forward. One of the most difficult things we can let go of is our attachment to the idea of how things should be. We all have expectations, don't we? We expect certain outcomes, certain results, or certain ways of doing things. When life doesn't meet those expectations, we become frustrated, disappointed, or even angry. These emotions are often tied to attachment, the attachment to our ideas of what we think life should look like. But in reality, life is always changing. Things don't always go the way we expect. People change. Circumstances change. And when we attach ourselves too strongly to a fixed idea of how things should be, we suffer. The key is to let go of the need to control everything and instead learn to flow with life as it comes. This doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means accepting life as it is, right now, and choosing to respond to it with wisdom and calm. It means accepting the reality that some things are beyond our control, and instead of resisting them, we allow them to unfold. Letting go also means forgiving ourselves. We often hold on to guilt and regret, thinking that if we beat ourselves up enough, we'll somehow become better people. But the truth is, holding on to guilt only keeps us stuck. It prevents us from learning from our mistakes and growing. We are all human, We all make mistakes. It's part of the journey. When we forgive ourselves, we free ourselves from the past. We no longer let our mistakes define who we are. Instead, we learn from them and move forward with a greater sense of understanding and compassion. Letting go is also about releasing the need to seek approval or validation from others. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need to be more, do more, and have more. We compare ourselves to others, measuring our worth by how others see us. But in the end, the only validation that matters is the one we give ourselves. When we let go of the need for approval, we stop living for others and start living for ourselves. We stop trying to fit into someone else's idea of success and start creating our own path. This is when we truly begin to live authentically. Another aspect of letting go is releasing our attachments to material things. We live in a society that places great value on possessions, on having the latest gadgets, the nicest clothes, the most luxurious home. While it's not wrong to enjoy material things, it's important to recognize that true happiness doesn't come from owning things. Possessions are temporary. They come and go. But our inner peace and joy are not dependent on what we have. When we let go of our attachment to material things, we create space for what truly matters: our relationships, our health, our growth, and our inner peace. We begin to realize that the more we accumulate, the more we are burdened. The less we hold on to, the freer we become. As you begin to let go of these attachments, whether they are to past events, to people, to material things, or to expectations, you will notice a shift in your energy. You will begin to feel lighter, more present, and more connected to the world around you. This is the beginning of your renewal. Letting go doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It requires patience, mindfulness, and self-compassion. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. You will begin to notice when you are holding on to something that no longer serves you, and you will learn to release it. With each step you take, you will become more free, more open, and more at peace. In the end, letting go is not about losing something. It's about gaining freedom. It's about making room for new experiences, new opportunities, and new possibilities. As you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for the life you truly desire. This is the path of renewal. It's not about trying to change who you are. It's about releasing everything that is holding you back from becoming the fullest version of yourself. So, take a deep breath, and with each exhale, let go. Let go of the past, let go of the weight, and step into the new year with a heart full of possibility. The gift of mindfulness, living in the present moment. Imagine sitting quietly in a beautiful garden. The wind whispers through the trees, the sun warms your skin, and the birds sing around you. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs with fresh air. In this moment, nothing else matters. The worries of the past fade away, and the fears of the future don't exist. You are simply here, now, fully present. This is the essence of mindfulness, the practice of living in the present moment. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become distracted, rushing from one task to another, constantly thinking about what's next or what we've just left behind. We live in a constant state of anticipation or regret, rarely giving ourselves the gift of truly experiencing the moment we're in. But mindfulness invites us to slow down, to notice the small details, and to engage fully with the present. Mindfulness is not something you do once in a while. It's a way of being. It's about being fully awake to your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. When you practice mindfulness, you are not trying to control your mind or make it stop thinking. Instead, you simply observe your thoughts and let them pass, like clouds drifting in the sky. You become aware of how you feel, but you don't let those feelings control you. In Buddhism, mindfulness is a central practice. It's part of the Noble Eightfold Path, a guide for living a life of peace, wisdom, and compassion. The Buddha taught that by being mindful, we can break free from the cycle of suffering. When we are truly present, we can see things as they are, without the filters of our desires, fears, and judgments. This clarity allows us to make wiser choices, be more compassionate, and find deeper peace within ourselves. So, how do you start practicing mindfulness in your daily life? It's simpler than you might think. You can begin by paying attention to your breath. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or distracted, take a moment to focus on your breathing. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly. Feel the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. With each breath, bring your awareness back to the present moment. You can also practice mindfulness in everyday activities. Whether you're eating, walking, or doing the dishes, take the time to truly engage with what you're doing. When you eat, notice the taste, texture, and smell of your food. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet, the movement of your body, and the air on your skin. These simple actions can become opportunities for mindfulness, turning ordinary moments into sacred ones. Mindfulness also teaches us to be aware of our thoughts and emotions. When you notice a thought or feeling arise, simply observe it without judgment. Instead of getting caught up in your thoughts or reacting to your emotions, take a step back and watch them as they come and go. This practice helps you break free from the constant mental chatter and emotional roller coaster that often dictates your life. One powerful tool for mindfulness is meditation. Meditation gives you the space to practice being present without distractions. You don't need to sit in a perfect lotus position or meditate for hours. Start with just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breathing. Over time, this practice helps you develop a deeper sense of awareness and calm. The beauty of mindfulness is that it's always available to you. You don't need anything special to practice. It's simply a matter of paying attention. And when you make mindfulness a part of your daily life, you'll begin to notice the world around you in a new way. You'll find beauty in the simple things, like the warmth of the sun on your face or the sound of a bird chirping. You'll experience life more fully, with all of your senses engaged. But mindfulness doesn't just help you appreciate the present moment. It also helps you let go of the past and stop worrying about the future. So much of our suffering comes from our attachment to what has already happened, or what we fear might happen. We hold on to grudges, regrets, and disappointments, or we constantly worry about what's to come. Mindfulness teaches us to release these attachments, allowing us to find peace and freedom. When you practice mindfulness, you also become more aware of the impermanence of life. Everything in the world is constantly changing. Your thoughts, your emotions, the weather, and even your body. Nothing stays the same forever. By recognizing this truth, you can stop clinging to things and start accepting the flow of life. You no longer have to resist change or try to control outcomes. Instead, you can flow with the changes, trusting that everything will unfold as it should. Mindfulness also deepens your connection to others. When you are fully present with someone, you listen with your whole being. You aren't distracted by your phone or your thoughts. You are there with them, heart to heart. This kind of listening builds stronger relationships because it shows others that you value them and are truly engaged in their words and emotions. In Buddhism, compassion is closely tied to mindfulness. When you practice being present with others, you naturally become more compassionate because you are truly seeing them for who they are, not through the lens of your own needs or desires. The more you practice mindfulness, the more it becomes a natural part of your life. It's like a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. And as you develop this awareness, you'll find that your mind becomes clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your life more peaceful. You'll start to experience the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. So, this new year, let mindfulness be your gift to yourself. By bringing more awareness into your life, you'll open yourself up to greater joy, peace, and clarity. You'll stop being controlled by your thoughts and emotions, and instead, you'll begin to live in harmony with the present moment. Mindfulness is not something you do. It's a way of being. And when you embrace it fully, you will experience life in all its richness and beauty. Let mindfulness guide you, not just today, but every day. Through this simple practice, you'll find the path to greater peace, compassion, and wisdom. And in doing so, you'll be able to renew yourself and embrace the future with open arms, ready to face whatever comes your way with a clear, calm, and present mind. The path of compassion, transforming relationships. Compassion is like a river. It flows, it nurtures, and it gives life. Just as water nourishes the land, compassion nourishes our relationships. But often, we forget its power. We hold on to judgments, misunderstandings, and old wounds that cloud our ability to truly connect with others. This part is about rediscovering the path of compassion, the way to heal relationships and create deeper, more meaningful connections. To begin, let's reflect on how we view others. How often do we judge people based on their actions or words? It's easy to fall into the trap of seeing people as good or bad, right or wrong. But in Buddhism, we are taught that judgment is a heavy burden. When we judge, we separate ourselves from others, creating distance and division. Instead of seeing a person as they are, we see them through the lens of our own beliefs, fears, and past experiences. Compassion asks us to put down that lens and truly see others with an open heart. Imagine a moment when someone did something that hurt you. Maybe they were rude, insensitive, or dismissive. In that moment, the natural reaction might be to feel angry, frustrated, or even hurt. But what if you could pause and consider something deeper? What if you could see that their actions are not a reflection of you, but of their own struggles, pain, or fears? Compassion helps us to see beyond the surface, to understand that everyone is facing their own challenges, even if we don't always see them. It's important to remember that compassion isn't about excusing bad behavior or tolerating mistreatment. It's not about letting others walk all over us. True compassion begins with understanding that everyone is on their own journey, with their own lessons to learn. When we can open our hearts to this understanding, we begin to feel less threatened, less defensive, and more willing to approach others with kindness. Now, let's talk about self-compassion. We often find it easier to be compassionate towards others than towards ourselves. We're quick to forgive others for their mistakes, but when it comes to our own, we are harsh critics. In Buddhism, self-compassion is just as important as compassion for others. When we are kind and understanding towards ourselves, we create the space to heal and grow. If we cannot love and accept ourselves, how can we truly offer that love and acceptance to others? One way to cultivate self-compassion is through mindfulness. Mindfulness allows us to be aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we catch ourselves being self-critical, we can pause and offer ourselves the same kindness we would offer a friend. We can say, "It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be imperfect. I am worthy of love, just as I am." Compassion also helps us transform our relationships with others. Think about someone in your life who may be difficult to deal with. Maybe they are constantly negative, critical, or unsupportive. It's easy to react to them with frustration or anger, but when we respond from a place of compassion, we shift the dynamic. Instead of reacting, we can respond with understanding. Instead of matching their negativity, we can offer kindness. It's not about fixing them. It's about offering them a space where they can feel seen and heard. The Buddha taught that all beings are interconnected. This means that when we show compassion to others, we are also healing ourselves. Our relationships are mirrors, reflecting back to us what we need to see within ourselves. If we want more love, more kindness, and more peace in our lives, we must begin by offering those things to others. The energy we give out will return to us, often in ways we never expected. One of the most powerful ways to practice compassion is through listening. In our fast-paced world, we often rush to speak, to offer advice, or to solve problems. But sometimes, the best way to show compassion is to simply listen. When we truly listen to someone, without judgment or interruption, we offer them the gift of presence. We allow them to be fully seen, heard, and understood. This act of deep listening can transform a relationship, creating a sense of connection that words alone cannot express. There is also the practice of loving kindness, known as metta, in Buddhism. This practice involves sending thoughts of love and goodwill to others, including those we may not know or those with whom we have conflicts. It's a practice that helps us break down the walls of separation and see the humanity in everyone. By sending out wishes of happiness, peace, and safety to others, we open our hearts and shift our energy. We become more in tune with the universal nature of compassion, which transcends individual differences and connects us all. Another important aspect of compassion is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges, anger, or resentment only keeps us trapped in the past. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about releasing ourselves from the chains of bitterness. When we forgive, we free ourselves. We allow ourselves to heal, to move forward, and to create space for peace. Forgiveness is an act of self-compassion as much as it is an act of compassion for others. In relationships, there will always be misunderstandings, conflicts, and challenges. But when we approach these difficulties with compassion, we create the foundation for healing. Instead of escalating tension, we bring calm. Instead of reinforcing walls, we build bridges. Compassion transforms the way we see each other and the way we see ourselves. In your relationships, think about how you can apply compassion today. Can you offer a kind word to someone who is struggling? Can you listen without judgment? Can you forgive yourself for past mistakes and move forward with a loving heart? By practicing compassion, you begin to shift the energy around you. You begin to create a world where love, understanding, and connection are the foundation of everything. As you walk this path, remember that compassion is not a destination. It's a journey. It's something that deepens over time as we continue to practice, to learn, and to grow. With each act of kindness, we step closer to the person we are meant to be. Compassion is the key that opens the door to more loving, fulfilling relationships. And as you open that door, you will find that the love and peace you give to others will return to you, making your life richer and more meaningful. So, take a moment today to reflect on your relationships. How can you show compassion in your daily interactions? How can you approach each person, not as someone to judge, but as someone to understand and connect with? The path of compassion is open to you. Walk it with an open heart, and watch how it transforms not just your relationships, but your life itself. Cultivating inner peace, finding balance amid chaos. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. The noise of the world, the constant demands on your time, the pressure to keep up, it all piles up. But in the midst of this chaos, there is a quiet space. A space where peace is not only possible, but within your reach. The question is, how do you find it? How can you maintain your peace when everything around you seems to be falling apart? Imagine being in the center of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, and everything around you is in turmoil. But in the center of that storm, there is calm. This calm is not because the storm has stopped. It's because you have learned how to be still, no matter what's happening around you. This stillness is where true peace begins. Buddhism teaches us that peace comes from within. It is not something to be found in the world or in the things around us. It is a state of mind that we can cultivate regardless of the external circumstances. The practice of mindfulness is key to finding this inner peace. Mindfulness is simply the act of being present in each moment, fully aware of what is happening without judgment. When you are mindful, you are not swept away by your thoughts or emotions. Instead, you observe them without attachment. You recognize that thoughts come and go, like clouds drifting through the sky, and that emotions are just temporary waves in the vast ocean of your mind. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to let go of the need to control everything, and instead, you find peace in simply being. A simple practice you can begin with is focusing on your breath. Sit quietly and take a few deep breaths. Pay attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. As thoughts arise, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This is a way of training your mind to focus, to stay present, and to return to calm when distractions arise. In our fast-paced world, it can feel like there is no time for peace. But in truth, peace is always available to you. It just requires a shift in perspective. When you begin to prioritize moments of stillness, even in the midst of your busy day, you'll start to notice the change. Whether it's taking a few minutes in the morning to meditate, or pausing throughout the day to simply breathe and be present, these small moments of peace can grow and transform your life. Another powerful practice for cultivating inner peace is letting go of expectations. Much of our inner turmoil comes from the gap between what we expect and what is actually happening. We want things to go our way, and when they don't, we become frustrated, angry, or upset. But when we let go of these rigid expectations and instead accept things as they are, we open ourselves to peace. Acceptance is not about resigning yourself to a life of frustration, but about allowing things to unfold naturally without forcing them to fit a mold. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment to people, possessions, outcomes, and even our own ideas of how things should be. When we release these attachments, We free ourselves from the constant cycle of desire and disappointment. In this freedom, peace is found. Finding balance amid chaos also requires setting healthy boundaries. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages and demands from all directions, it's important to protect your mental and emotional space. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world, but rather learning to say no when necessary and making time for the things that truly matter. By doing this, you create space for inner peace to flourish. It's also important to recognize that peace is not about perfection. It's not about having a perfect life, a perfect job, or perfect relationships. Peace is about accepting imperfection and embracing the flow of life as it is. When we stop striving for an ideal and instead embrace the present moment, we open the door to peace. Life is unpredictable. There will always be challenges, changes, and difficulties. But in each moment, you have the choice to respond with peace rather than react with anxiety or frustration. The key is practice. Practice being mindful, practice letting go, and practice acceptance. Over time, these practices will become a natural part of your life, and peace will become a steady companion, no matter what the world throws your way. In Buddhism, we are encouraged to practice right action, which is a way of living that is in harmony with our values and the world around us. When we live in alignment with our true nature, we find peace. When we act with compassion, kindness, and mindfulness, we create a ripple effect that extends to others, fostering peace in our relationships and communities. Another essential element in finding peace is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges and resentment can be a heavy burden. It keeps us tied to the past, to anger, and to pain. But when we forgive, whether it's forgiving others or ourselves, we release that weight. We free ourselves to move forward with a light heart, unburdened by the past. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrongdoing or forgetting what happened. It's about letting go of the emotional grip that the situation has on you. It's about choosing peace over anger, freedom over resentment, and love over bitterness. In the practice of Buddhism, the concept of equanimity is also crucial for cultivating peace. Equanimity is the ability to remain balanced and composed, regardless of the highs and lows of life. It's about not being overly attached to success or overly upset by failure. By cultivating equanimity, you create an inner stability that is unaffected by the external world. You can practice equanimity by observing your emotional responses without being swept away by them. When something happens, whether it's good or bad, simply notice how you feel, but don't let that feeling control you. Acknowledge it, but allow it to pass without clinging to it. This practice helps you maintain balance, no matter what life brings your way. Remember, peace is not something you have to achieve. It's something you can cultivate through mindfulness, acceptance, and letting go. It's always available to you, even in the most chaotic moments. You just need to stop, breathe, and find that stillness within. And when you do, you'll discover that the chaos of the world doesn't have to disturb your peace. Instead, you can remain calm, centered, and balanced, no matter what comes your way. The art of self-reflection, learning from the past. When you look at a still pond, what do you see? The reflection of the sky, the trees, and the world around it. In this stillness, there is clarity. But if the water is disturbed, the reflection becomes blurry. The same is true for your mind. To reflect clearly, to see who you truly are, you must find stillness within. Self-reflection is a powerful tool in our journey toward renewal. It is the practice of looking inward, not with judgment, but with understanding and curiosity. Just as you observe your reflection in the water, you must learn to observe yourself without rushing to fix things. You are not broken. You are simply evolving. We often carry the past with us, believing it defines us. Mistakes, regrets, and past experiences seem to shape our thoughts and actions. But the past is like a shadow. It is not who you are, but a part of your story. The truth is, you have the power to learn from the past without letting it control your present. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence teaches us that everything changes. Your past is no different. The past does not have to dictate your future. The key is to learn from it, without holding on to it. Reflection is not about regret. It is about understanding how you arrived at this point and what you can do differently moving forward. When you reflect, try to approach yourself with compassion. Often, We are our harshest critics. We look at our past decisions and say, I should have done better. But remember, every experience, no matter how difficult, carries a lesson. The past is a teacher, not a judge. A simple practice of self-reflection can begin with just a few minutes each day. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what did I learn today? What can I do differently tomorrow? Don't rush for answers. Let the questions sit with you. Sometimes, the answers come in silence. But it's not enough to simply reflect. Buddhism teaches us the importance of mindfulness. You must be fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and feelings as they arise. The more present you are, the clearer your reflections will become. When you are mindful, you can see your actions, thoughts, and emotions without attachment or judgment. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are there areas where you feel stuck? Do certain patterns repeat over and over? Self-reflection can help you uncover the hidden beliefs or fears that may be holding you back. It helps you to understand why you act the way you do and, more importantly, how to change. When you reflect, do not seek perfection. Perfection is an illusion. Instead, seek growth. The journey of self-reflection is not about achieving a perfect life, but about becoming more aware, more compassionate, and more connected to your true self. It is easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, always looking ahead or rushing through each day. But without reflection, you miss the opportunity to truly learn from your experiences. Self-reflection allows you to pause, to breathe, and to understand where you've been so that you can move forward with greater clarity and purpose. If you look at the moon's reflection on the water, you see its light, shining peacefully. But this light is not from the moon itself. It is simply a reflection. Similarly, the wisdom within you is always there, waiting to be discovered. By reflecting on your experiences, you uncover this wisdom. In Buddhism, the practice of meditation is a powerful tool for self-reflection. In meditation, you create the space to observe your thoughts without judgment. You learn to let go of the distractions and noise of everyday life. And in that stillness, you find the clarity to see yourself as you truly are. But even outside of meditation, you can practice reflection throughout your day. When you face challenges or difficult situations, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? Instead of reacting immediately, take a breath and reflect. In this way, you begin to understand your reactions and impulses, and you gain the ability to choose a wiser response. Sometimes, self-reflection brings up difficult emotions or memories. This is normal. Don't be afraid to feel. Instead of avoiding pain, sit with it. Embrace it. By doing so, you allow yourself to heal. Like a flower that blooms after a storm, your heart can grow stronger through self-reflection. It is important to remember that self-reflection is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong practice. You will continue to learn and grow, and you will continue to reflect on your experiences. With each reflection, you uncover more layers of your true self. Think of a tree growing in a forest. At times, it faces storms, but it also receives nourishment from the sun and rain. Over time, it grows taller, its roots deeper. Your self-reflection is like the roots of that tree, helping you to grow stronger and more grounded in who you are. As you move forward in life, remember that self-reflection is not about perfection, but about progress. It's about understanding yourself better and using that understanding to create a life that aligns with your true values. Each moment is an opportunity for growth, and through reflection, you can make each of those moments meaningful. In the end, the art of self-reflection is a practice of kindness to yourself, to others, and to the world. By reflecting with compassion and mindfulness, you create the space for transformation. You free yourself from the burdens of the past, and you open the door to a future filled with peace, wisdom, and renewal. Building resilience, rising stronger after challenges. Life, like a river, is never still. It flows, it changes, and at times, it carries us through rough waters. Challenges are part of the journey, but they do not define us. The strength to rise again, to rebuild, and to keep moving forward, this is resilience. And just like a tree that bends with the wind but does not break, we too can learn to adapt and rise stronger from each challenge we face. In Buddhism, the concept of resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, It's about understanding that suffering is part of life. The Buddha himself faced numerous trials, yet he found the path to enlightenment through his ability to endure and transcend them. This isn't to say that suffering is something we should seek, but it's an acknowledgement that difficult moments are inevitable. What matters most is how we respond to them. One of the first steps in building resilience is understanding that everything, both good and bad, is impermanent. Our pain, our struggles, they do not last forever. Just as the seasons change, so do our experiences. When you're faced with a tough situation, remember, this too shall pass. The clouds will clear, and the sun will shine once again. It's easy to get caught in the intensity of the moment, but true resilience comes from seeing the bigger picture. A good practice to build resilience is to focus on the present moment. When challenges arise, don't get lost in the what-ifs or the why-me's. Instead, breathe deeply, focus on the here and now, and remind yourself that this moment is all you truly have. As the Buddha taught, suffering often arises from attachment to outcomes, to control, to expectations. When we let go of these attachments and simply allow ourselves to be present, we can more easily navigate the stormy waters. Another essential part of resilience is self-compassion. It's natural to feel frustration or disappointment when things don't go as planned. But how you treat yourself during those moments is crucial. Buddhism teaches that we should treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend. When you stumble, don't beat yourself up. Instead, embrace yourself with compassion, acknowledging that mistakes are part of learning. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, and each setback is a lesson in disguise. In those times when it feels like you're at your lowest point, remember that your inner strength is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop over time. Think of it like training for a marathon. You don't run 26 miles the first day. You build endurance step by step, day by day. Similarly, each time you face a challenge, you're building your ability to rise again, to meet adversity with courage and wisdom. Mindfulness can also play a huge role in resilience. By practicing mindfulness, you create space between yourself and your reactions. You learn to pause, to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. In times of stress or difficulty, mindfulness allows you to respond rather than react. This pause gives you the clarity you need to choose your actions wisely, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. When faced with a difficult situation, take a moment to breathe. Close your eyes and feel the ground beneath you. Ground yourself in the present, knowing that you have the strength within you to navigate through. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding pain. It means feeling the pain and choosing to rise above it, to move forward with grace and purpose. Support from others is also essential to building resilience. We are not meant to face life's challenges alone. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of community, or sangha, in the journey towards enlightenment. When you find yourself struggling, don't hesitate to reach out to others. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you, who help you see your own strength when you can't see it yourself. A supportive community helps you bounce back, gives you perspective, and reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles. Resilience also comes from having a sense of purpose. When you know why you're doing something, when you have a goal that's bigger than the immediate discomfort, you're more likely to keep pushing forward. Whether it's a personal goal, a family, or a cause you believe in, having a sense of purpose gives you the fuel to keep going when things get tough. Sometimes, it's easy to look at others and think they've got it all figured out. We often compare our struggles to their successes, but remember, everyone has their own battles. Resilience is about focusing on your own journey, not someone else's. Your challenges are unique to you, just as their challenges are unique to them. Don't let comparison steal your peace. Stay focused on your own path and trust that, just like everyone else, you too are capable of overcoming life's difficulties. In Buddhism, we also learn to embrace imperfection. We live in a world that often demands perfection, but true resilience comes from embracing our flaws and learning from them. The cracks in the pot are where the light shines through. When we accept our imperfections, we open the door to real growth and healing. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are steps along the path to wisdom. Every time we stumble, we have the opportunity to rise stronger and more aware than before. When we face adversity, it's important to remember that the challenge is not the end. It is a chapter in a much larger story. Imagine a seed buried in the earth. The seed doesn't know what's coming. It's just buried in darkness, facing pressure, and experiencing resistance. But over time, it begins to sprout. It pushes through the soil, seeking the light. Similarly, you may feel buried under life's challenges, but they are preparing you for something greater. The pressure you face today is shaping you into someone stronger, more resilient, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward. Each time you face a challenge, you grow. You become more attuned to your inner strength, your purpose, and your ability to adapt. You learn to trust that no matter how difficult things may seem, you will always have the power to rise again. As the Buddha taught, no matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. This is the essence of resilience. It's never too late to begin anew. Whether you've faced setbacks in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, remember that every moment is a new beginning. Resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again, with the courage to face whatever comes your way. So, as you move forward in this new year, know that you have within you the strength to rise, the wisdom to learn, and the courage to continue. Life will always throw challenges your way, but with each challenge comes an opportunity to build your resilience, to grow stronger, and to rise above. The more you practice resilience, the more natural it becomes. Like a river carving its path through rock, you too will carve your way forward, no matter the obstacles. The wisdom of gratitude, shifting to abundance mindset. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a way of seeing the world. When you look at life through the lens of gratitude, everything changes. You stop focusing on what's missing and start seeing what's already there. In every moment, there is something to be thankful for. And when you cultivate this mindset, you begin to attract more of the goodness that already exists in your life. At first glance, life may seem challenging. You may think that you don't have enough time, enough money, enough love. But in truth, the more you focus on what you have, the more you realize how abundant your life already is. When you appreciate even the smallest things, a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a friend, the beauty of a sunset, you are opening yourself up to receiving more blessings. The universe responds to this energy. What you focus on expands. Buddhism teaches us the power of mindfulness. It's about being present in each moment, fully aware of the gifts that are already before you. When you practice mindfulness, you train your mind to notice all that you have. You stop taking things for granted and start recognizing the beauty in the ordinary. A simple act of breathing becomes something sacred when you are mindful of it. A moment of silence becomes an opportunity for deep gratitude. Gratitude is not only about acknowledging the good things. It's also about recognizing that challenges are part of the flow of life. When things go wrong, when difficulties arise, it's easy to focus on the negative. But Buddhism teaches that every experience, whether good or bad, has something valuable to offer. Even in the midst of hardship, there are lessons to learn. And when you embrace these lessons with gratitude, you begin to see every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It doesn't grow without the struggle of pushing through the earth. The seed needs that effort, that challenge, to break free and reach toward the light. Similarly, you too must go through difficulties in order to grow into your fullest self. When you adopt an attitude of gratitude, you begin to see the struggle as part of your path, not something to be avoided or feared. In the practice of gratitude, we learn to accept life as it is. We stop resisting what is, and instead, we open ourselves to the present moment. This acceptance brings peace. It allows us to flow with life, rather than fighting against it. In this way, gratitude is a form of surrender, not surrendering to circumstances, but surrendering to the wisdom of the present moment. The more you practice gratitude, the more you start to notice the interconnectedness of all things. Everything in your life is a reflection of your thoughts, actions, and intentions. When you approach life with gratitude, you align yourself with the natural flow of abundance. You begin to see that there is enough for everyone. You no longer feel the need to compare yourself to others, because you are at peace with what you have and who you are. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It opens your heart and mind to the infinite possibilities that surround you. It helps you recognize that you are already enough, just as you are. You don't need to chase after external achievements or possessions to feel complete. Everything you need to be happy and fulfilled is already within you. One of the most powerful practices of gratitude in Buddhism is the practice of gratitude for all beings. This means recognizing that everything in your life, from the food you eat to the air you breathe, comes from the efforts of countless beings. It's a humbling practice that reminds you that you are not alone. You are part of a vast web of life, all connected and interdependent. When you take time to acknowledge the contributions of others, whether human, animal, or even the earth itself, you develop a deep sense of appreciation for the world around you. This practice helps you shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. You begin to see that you are supported by a network of love and care, both seen and unseen. Gratitude also deepens your relationships with others. When you express your gratitude to the people in your life, you strengthen your connection with them. Simple words of thanks can have a profound impact. By showing appreciation, you create a space of positivity and mutual respect. Gratitude is a way of honoring others and recognizing their worth. It builds trust and fosters harmony in all of your relationships. And yet, gratitude is not just about what you give to others. It's also about what you give to yourself. When you practice gratitude, you begin to develop a deep sense of self-worth. You acknowledge your own efforts and strengths. You stop criticizing yourself for what you don't have or haven't achieved. Instead, you focus on what you've already accomplished and how far you've come. In this way, gratitude becomes a tool for self-empowerment. As you cultivate this mindset of abundance, you begin to notice shifts in your external reality as well. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach now appear before you. People begin to show up to support you in ways you never expected. Your financial situation may improve, or new doors may open in your career. These changes are not coincidences. They are a reflection of the energy you are putting out into the world. Gratitude also helps you release attachment. When you are grateful for what you have, you no longer feel the need to cling to things. You understand that possessions and achievements are temporary. They come and go, but your inner peace and contentment are lasting. Gratitude allows you to detach from the need for more and embrace the present moment with joy. Another aspect of gratitude in Buddhism is the practice of offering. In many Buddhist traditions, practitioners make offerings as a way of showing gratitude for the teachings they've received. These offerings may take the form of food, incense, or even simple gestures like bowing. The act of giving is a way of acknowledging the interconnectedness of all beings. By offering something of value, you express your gratitude and deepen your sense of connection to the world. This practice of offering can also be applied to your everyday life. When you give freely, whether it's your time, your kindness, or your resources, you are cultivating a spirit of generosity. This generosity flows from a place of gratitude. You give not because you expect something in return, but because you recognize the abundance in your life and want to share it with others. In Buddhism, gratitude is also connected to the practice of mindfulness. By being present with your gratitude, you allow yourself to fully experience the richness of the moment. When you are truly mindful, you are aware of the blessings all around you. You savor the small moments, and you appreciate the simple joys that life offers. Mindfulness enhances gratitude by helping you stay focused on what matters most. As you continue on your journey, remember that gratitude is a practice. It requires patience and consistency. Some days, it may be easier to feel grateful than others, but even on the toughest days, you can find something to be thankful for. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Gratitude will begin to shape your life in ways you never imagined. By shifting to a mindset of gratitude, you invite more love, peace, and abundance into your life. You begin to see that the world is full of blessings, waiting to be recognized. As you embrace gratitude, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities that the universe has to offer. You shift from scarcity to abundance, from fear to peace, from lack to fulfillment. And in doing so, you renew yourself, and your life becomes a reflection of the abundance you hold within. The journey within, connecting with your inner self. The journey to renewal begins within. It is easy to look outward for change, hoping circumstances will shift, where other people will make things better. But the true transformation, the kind that lasts, starts when you look inward. Buddhism teaches us that the answers we seek are not outside of us. They are within, waiting to be discovered. Imagine for a moment that you are standing on the shore of a quiet lake. The surface of the water is calm and still, reflecting the sky and the trees around it. Now, picture a rock thrown into the water, causing ripples that distort the reflection. This is what happens when we allow the noise of the world, stress, worries, distractions, to cloud our minds. The surface of our mind becomes disturbed, and we can no longer see clearly. To truly connect with your inner self, you must quiet the water of your mind and allow its natural clarity to emerge. Buddhism offers us a simple practice to achieve this: mindfulness. Mindfulness is the act of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It is about being fully aware of what is happening right now, without worrying about the past or the future. When you practice mindfulness, you are tuning in to your own experience. You begin to notice your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without becoming overwhelmed by them. To start this journey within, sit quietly for a few moments each day. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Pay attention to the way your body feels, the rhythm of your breath, and the thoughts that come and go. Don't try to control or judge them, just observe. Over time, this practice helps you become more aware of your inner world. You begin to see patterns in your thinking, and you can start to make choices that align with your true self. In the stillness of your mind, you will begin to hear the quiet voice of your inner wisdom. This voice isn't loud or demanding. It's gentle and calm, guiding you toward what is best for you. It may not always give you the answers you want, but it will always lead you in the right direction. When you connect with this inner wisdom, you will feel more centered and at peace, no matter what is happening around you. One of the greatest obstacles to connecting with your inner self is the tendency to look for validation outside of yourself. We often seek approval from others, hoping that their words or actions will tell us who we are. But this is a never-ending cycle. No amount of external praise or recognition will ever fill the emptiness we feel inside. True self-worth comes from within. When you trust yourself, when you know who you are at your core, you no longer need approval from anyone else. You are enough, just as you are. Sometimes, the journey within can be challenging. It requires patience and honesty. You may encounter feelings or thoughts that are difficult to face, regrets, fears, or painful memories. But these are not obstacles to your growth. They are invitations to heal. Buddhism teaches that suffering is a part of life, but it doesn't have to define us. We can learn from our pain, grow from it, and let it go. The practice of meditation is one of the most powerful tools for connecting with your inner self. Meditation allows you to sit with yourself in silence, without distraction. It's a way to dive deep into your consciousness, to uncover layers of thought and emotion that you may not have noticed before. As you meditate, you may feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind may be full of racing thoughts, and your body may want to move. But with time, you will find that stillness becomes easier, and the deeper you go, the clearer you will see. To meditate, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit in a comfortable position, with your back straight and your hands resting on your lap. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Focus your attention on your breath as it enters and leaves your body. When your mind begins to wander, gently bring your focus back to your breath. It's normal for thoughts to arise, but each time you bring your attention back to your breath, you are strengthening your ability to stay present. Over time, this practice helps you tune in to your inner voice and develop a deeper connection with your true self. As you continue this practice, you will begin to notice a shift in your life. The more you listen to your inner self, the more you will align your actions with your values. You will make choices that bring you closer to your authentic self, and you will feel more at peace with who you are. The noise of the world will no longer drown out your inner wisdom. Instead, you will be guided by a deep sense of clarity and purpose. Connecting with your inner self is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey. There will be times when you feel disconnected, when the distractions of life pull you away from your true self. But the beauty of this journey is that you can always return. Each moment is a new opportunity to reconnect, to listen, and to grow. In Buddhism, this journey inward is known as the path of self-realization. It's the path of understanding your true nature and awakening to your highest potential. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you truly are beneath the layers of conditioning, fear, and doubt. When you walk this path, you are not only renewing yourself, but you are also awakening to the vastness of your being. You realize that you are not separate from the world. You are connected to all things, and in this connection, you find your true strength. This journey within is the key to transformation. When you reconnect with your inner self, you will find that all the external changes you seek will follow naturally. You will no longer need to chase happiness or fulfillment because you will have found them within. And in this inner peace, you will find the freedom to live authentically, to follow your heart, and to become the person you were always meant to be. The journey within is the most powerful path you can take. It is a path of healing, of growth, and of awakening. It is the path that leads to true freedom, because when you are connected to your inner self, nothing in the outside world can take away your peace. You become unshakable, unwavering, and at home in yourself. And in this place of deep inner peace, you will find the strength to embrace the new year with a heart full of hope, clarity, and purpose. Stepping into the future, a year of transformation. Dear one, we have walked a long journey together. Now, here we are, standing at the doorway of your future. Can you feel it? The energy of transformation calling your name? The new year is no longer just a date. It is a symbol of your readiness to step forward with courage and clarity. But before you step into this new chapter, let us reflect on what has been and embrace what will come. You might ask, how do I truly leave the old behind and embrace the new? The answer is simple, yet profound. You don't need to fight the past or erase it. Instead, bow to it, thank it for the lessons it has taught you, and then release it. Imagine a flowing river. You cannot stop the water from moving forward. So why cling to the rocks of yesterday? The wisdom of Buddhism reminds us, impermanence is the nature of life. Nothing stays the same, and that is the beauty of renewal. The first step into your future is trust. Trust yourself. Trust that you have the strength to walk this path. Trust that each step, even if small, will take you closer to your higher self. Trust that the lessons you've learned will guide you. If doubt whispers in your ear, gently silence it by reminding yourself of how far you've come. In this new year, do not carry the unnecessary weight of guilt, regret, or fear. Let them fall away like leaves from a tree in autumn. You are not your mistakes. You are not the opinions of others. You are not the shadows of your past. You are the light of this moment, and every moment forward is a chance to shine brighter. But stepping into the future isn't just about letting go. It's also about creating. What will you create this year? What seeds will you plant? Will you nurture compassion in your heart, patience in your mind, and kindness in your actions? Will you commit to living with mindfulness and purpose? Remember, the smallest actions can create the greatest ripples. A kind word, a thoughtful deed, a quiet moment of reflection. These are the foundations of a transformed life. As you move forward, remember to stay grounded in the present moment. Buddhism teaches us that the future is built upon what you do now. If your mind is lost in dreams of tomorrow, you will miss the treasures of today. So, take each day as it comes. Wake up with gratitude, live with intention, and rest with peace. Transformation is not a single moment. It is a journey. There will be challenges, and there will be doubts. That is the nature of life. But do not fear these obstacles. They are your greatest teachers. Just as a lotus blooms in muddy water, so too can you grow through difficult times. Do not run from discomfort. Instead, embrace it and learn from it. This year, give yourself permission to grow slowly. You do not need to rush or force change. Just as the sun rises steadily each day, let your transformation unfold naturally. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your small victories, and when you stumble, get back up with kindness. And now, as this journey comes to a close, I ask you to pause for a moment and breathe. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Feel the power of renewal within you. Feel the possibilities of the future stretching before you. This is your time. You are ready. Before we part, I have one final message for you. There are so many views on this channel, yet only 0.2% of viewers subscribe. If you found value in this journey, If these words have touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us continue to share these teachings with the world. Together, we can inspire more people to step into their best selves. Now, dear one, the time has come. Step boldly into the future. Carry with you the lessons you've learned, the peace you've cultivated, and the vision of who you are becoming. You are not just walking into a new year. You are walking into a new you. Go forward with courage, with hope, and with love. This is your year of transformation.